That's the original clap. That's the official clap.
Okay.
Welcome to the Barcast podcast. We're here for the 2021 season. I'm Salt.
And I'm George.
We've got
Danny G.
Danielle Gonzalez.
Yes.
Yes. We can talk right in the mic and loud
Okay.
so that make sure that none of you audio don't get cut out. Right?
Okay, got it.
I don't know if George told you, and I don't know if you've ever watched any of the podcasts.
Of course.
Before. Oh, you have. So you know that you don't see like the entire outfit, so you don't have to dress up that hard.
I have a training session and I just covered up. Okay, that's all.
Let me girl come in your hardest. So George, what's on the menu for today, man?
Well, we got some breaking news for everybody for the actual weekend. We're going to save that for you after the interview and let you know what's happening. A couple little changes. Some of them you'll be happy with. Some of them I'm not that happy with, but you know
the ones he's not happy with are the ones we're going to be happy with.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Can't wait to hear about that though. Of course, you know we got Dan here. We brought her all the way from Rejuvenate Spa. That's your business.
Yes, it
and
is.
you are also a sponsor.
Yes.
Barbados Adventure Race. And I mean, I said thank you for that first of all.
Anytime.
After the Bar 5K trail mates, I got the bag. I said, oh, I have a sack.
I was so happy that you got one of them.
But when I open the bag and I see the amount of things in it, Dan, you're a real sponsor.
Because we also my sister company, which is Glow Skin Care Products, was also one of the sponsors. So we did put some goodies in there.
Nice. That was really good. So tell us about your bar journey. Let me start there.
It's been a long one. I've done every bar since the beginning, so it's been a long journey, and I'm excited for this year. Yeah.
I remember when you were the first started working out. You was a party girl, you know, Dan. Let me go back.
Oh my God! Wait.
You were a party girl.
Yes.
Come out, things. Come out.
I did my share of partying. Yes.
And then you started to go to the gym.
I did. I can't believe this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what George tell you. I'll be coming to
It's true. Okay.
And I like because if people see like you, Amaris, and all the other elite females and think to themselves, oh, they must have been doing this forever, or they must be uber competitive, or they must not be like us. They not be normal people. Like, who's Rambo in the bush?
Definitely normal.
Yeah, but I just want to let people know you stumbled into bar just like the majority of people that will be watching the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had my share of fun, drinking and,
and then
just enjoying myself.
So how you get into fitness on it?
I just like every other female, it was about the physique. It was about, just keeping trim and keeping fit. But that got really boring really fast.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean getting featured in magazines on
No,
that
wasn't
cut it anywhere.
But just I'm not a gym girl to go in and do the bicep curls and I tried CrossFit. That wasn't it either. And then bar just came up and I found my sport.
How George introduced you to bar? What was his pitch?
One day after the hike Grill and Chill. I don't know if you ever went to one of those.
I went to one of those as well. Yeah.
And he just very casually said, "Hey Dan, if there was, you see the same hiking thing, suppose they had like obstacles and you think that would be fun?" I was like, oh my God, yeah, I would love to do that. And I think months later was it months later or maybe not even a full year, we had the first like workout WOD hike.
It was called the hike WOD, yeah.
Hike WOD, that's what it was.
That was the first time I ever saw Green Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good.
No.
Not a pleasant introduction at all.
No, not at all.
So you were there from even before it was bar. You were there from it was HGC and then the hike WODs.
Yes, for sure.
What I must tell the listeners and the watchers, viewers, is that you are the only person around bar that I would say is as addicted as I am.
I know. Honestly, I think you and I have a problem.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
If we miss one workout, it's a problem.
If you could see me messaging one another, like, oh, so how was it?
After every workout, we're like, okay, so how was it for you? Where you think you could have improved? Like we need some
she's
kind
the
of.
only person that can call with the rain set up and be like, Dan, you feel like running a 5K or you feel like going to do the trail? Let me see how it is in your bed.
Just as crazy as he is.
So you think it's craziness?
I don't know we just have this intense love for the sport, and I just wish like everybody could experience it, because as soon as you do it once, like you're just hooked.
How many people have you drafted into bar so far?
Well, quite a few. And this year I'm really excited that my sister has started the training.
Big up yourself, Dana.
Yeah, big up Dana, big up Dana. She actually, and my best friend Danielle, they're both doing the Open. So
Good.
I'm really excited for them for that.
Nice. Well, you were actually on the podium a couple times. One time.
One time, that was my first year doing singles.
Right.
Came second.
Right.
Last year didn't go how I wanted it to, but my team came really close to being on the podium. Really close.
Really close to being on the podium, meaning you didn't get on the podium?
We didn't. We came fourth.
Right. Just checking.
Wait, did we come fourth?
You did come fourth.
Yeah, we came fourth. Yeah, I mean,
First of
but
the
we
losers,
were
as it were.
oh, whatever. We were so close.
You were close to the top of the podium, actually.
We were really, really close.
You want to tell the viewers and listeners about that experience, or you choose to forget it?
I feel the listeners want to hear it. The ones that
Okay.
weren't there. Yeah.
We got to the slick wall and obstacles. We could see obstacles. They had just gotten off the slick wall. We were like, okay, we have a chance.
On.
Yeah. So as soon as we could see them, we were like, okay, definitely it's on. We got to the rings and Rianne had a bit of a hiccup there. We were there for a while. I think it was like half an hour.
Wow.
It was quite a long time. And
There were obstacles all this time.
they were at the traverse. They were stuck there.
And the really course was set. It was rings and then
We
traverse.
could still see them.
Right.
So the whole time we were like, they're still there. But at that time, nobody had passed us yet. So we were like, we still have a chance. They're still there. Right. And then we started to see teams come up and we were like, we don't give up yet. We can still do it. And that's why you want people like Rianne, like someone like Rianne on your team. She never gave up. Right. She was there for a really long time and she never gave up. And we still pulled out a fourth place. We barely missed the podium. I think it
10
was
seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
And y'all were there for a half hour, so y'all really were close to the podium, man.
Yeah. We were really close. So this year it's a different team, but definitely coming back strong.
I'm trying to remember teams that you would have done before.
So the first
You always
team,
did it with Rihanna. You used to do it for Rihanna.
I always did it with Rianne.
Yeah.
So this is my first year that I'm not doing it with her. So I'm sad about that. But I'm excited about my new team. I'm happy about my new team, but I'm going to miss her for sure.
It is the big news that you was going to bring it on.
No way.
Okay, go ahead. You could tell us in team though? Or
I
is it-
can.
Yeah, let me
I
hear it.
can.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other female on my team is Jade Searles.
They got Jade Searles. They got to call her whole name all the time. each time.
Definitely. And the two guys are Demron Thompson
Tompy.
and Adande. Can't remember his last name, but
Wow.
that's him.
Talking about somebody as addicted to bar as the two of you, it might be Tompy.
It might
Might
be
be.
Tompy.
It might well
He
be
is-
Tompy.
Tompy, that's the competition.
Yeah.
yeah, but he definitely has a strong love for the sport as well
Yeah.
too. So we definitely have that in common.
That's a strong team, though.
It
It's
is.
a really strong team.
If I don't say so myself, we're so excited.
Because that's half of the team that would have won last year. With those guys, Tompy and
Adande.
Adande.
Adande, yeah.
And Adande would have run second. I believe they ran second and third in the first year of singles.
Correct. Yes, the first
Or
year.
did Jet would have split.
No, I don't think Jet did that first year,
He
did he?
didn't
do Right,
first
so
No,
it
it
would've
was,
been
it was Darren
Darren.
and Adande Tompy.
Yeah, they would have come second and third. Then last year, the year after that was when Jet would have
Correct.
slipped in there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's a strong team. How's training going?
It's it's fun. I mean, it's how training goes. It's pretty intense, but I love the process of it, and that's what I'm focusing on this year. It's I tend to before I used to focus on the result. Like I want to win, I want to do really good, and then because I'm coaching now too, it was all about I want the people who I coach to see that I can do this, but I've just taken all of that pressure off, and it's
Really?
it's just about the process, and I'm just trying to make sure that I run the best race that I can. That's all I'm focusing on this time around.
Tell me a little bit about the relationship with Jade.
She's like, I mean, when she first came, I just would see her sitting in a corner, and she would just be staring at me.
Right.
And then, and she just would ask me for little tips here and there. And when I saw her run
Oh.
the first time, I was like,
Yeah.
you're looking at me? Like, but she's like my little sister. And I'm so glad that I can bring her up in this sport and that she looks up to me. And I'm excited about that. She's gonna next year she's gonna just, even this year, she's gonna blow some people away.
I believe so as well.
Yeah. We always talk about Jade as the future of the sport, being that sort of age and coming from that competitive track and field background. And I think once because she's already pretty good on the carries.
Yeah.
Once she really masters and owns all those skills, it's gonna be interesting to see all you top female competitors out there competing against each other.
Invest in some contacts with Jade too.
Yeah.
Oh, the glasses.
All Jade is compared. She can't see. She can't see.
No,
Yeah. How is training for you individually for the singles now then? I know you're working with Gigi here.
Yes. So it was about developing that aerobic base initially, because I do not come from an endurance background at
What's
all.
your background?
I mean, I used to sprint here and there at school. I was a sprinter.
She was fast at private school, people. That's
The people asked me to come on this podcast and saw it. They were so stink.
She was fast at the cover. When everybody else was swimming.
I hate them.
So it's the worst,
nice. I can remember this though.
sorry. Go on. Let me tell you about your background. There was a little bit of sprinting before.
Just a little, yeah. That's it.
All right, so now you're training. Now you had to build the aerobic base, you were saying.
Yes. So there was that, and then just working on little things from last year. I kind of just analyzed everything that was lacking, and just annoyed him like crazy, and was like, I really just. He could see, I think, that I wasn't as scatterbrained when it came to what I wanted to do last year. I was kind of just jumping into sessions here and there, training here and there on my team, and I kind of just wanted to have a plan and
more structure, more focus this year.
Yeah. So that's what it's. That's
How
what
is
it's
it been
about.
training her this year? The difference?
Completely different athlete between even over the last few years. Because I've known Dan for a long time. We've been friends for a long time, and we would have periods where I would be going to the stadium to do track training for masters. Dan would come to the stadium and do track training for masters. Then you would see Dan in a spin class. You would see Dan in a CrossFit workout. You would, which is fine because obviously, as far as our health perspective is concerned, we want to move as much as possible. But there was never really any structure in any training program she has. If you called Dan for a workout, she was going.
Yeah.
Right? She just liked to feel her heart rate up. She just liked to sweat. But once she started to develop, like a real interest in becoming better at the sport, we had to step back, make a plan, and execute the plan over the course of the season. At night, like everybody's saying, what happened was different with Dan. I mean, we just had a program. And if I had every athlete like this, I'd be happy. Because we wrote the program. I gave her the program. She did the program.
Right.
Like she did it exactly how it was written, and you can see the results. Most people just don't have the patience to follow a program like this, especially if you're telling somebody, I just want you to run slow.
Yeah, that's hard.
You're telling somebody, I just want you to run slow, and they're like, but I ain't getting fit fast enough. He's like, trust the process. It takes a little while for this to happen, but once it happens, you're going to see the difference. And she followed the program, and here we are today. Like right now, if the season were to end now and there was no competition, I would still be proud of what she's achieved so far through the season. So honestly, to me, it almost doesn't even matter what she does in the race as long as she goes out there and doesn't lay an egg. Go out there, execute the race, forget about what happens. If you end up on the podium, fine. If you don't, once we run the race and stick to the plan that we made, I'd be happy with that.
What have you worked on the most over the last year? Atlas Stone carries?
I can't even like single out one thing.
For me, it's the carries. That's why I asked you that.
Yeah.
I find that when I look at my game, I find that the holes in my game are really carries. So you don't think that there's any one thing that you would say that I specifically wanted to work on?
I needed to start over, to be honest. Yeah, I needed, and everything, not just the physical, it was about the mental, like everything about competition used to, like.
That's an interesting point. That's another thing I think a lot of listeners and viewers will want to talk about, the mental aspect.
It's so important, especially in obstacle course racing. Like you have so many different variables, like so many different things could go wrong. You have to be able to keep your cool. When you get burpees, you can't freak out and get mad. Like you just kind of have to just jump into it. And so it was like an overhaul. I had to start over, for sure.
Practicing burpees, or you don't practice burpees?
Well, burpees was in
She
the
was
training, so yeah, yeah, definitely practice the burpees for sure.
Somebody was telling me that my burpees too slow. I was like, I don't plan to do the burpees.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
well, you don't plan for
You
them.
never plan to do burpees. You never ever do, but they tend to creep up unless you're arm rest, and then you don't do any.
Don't worry, man. You can team. We'll see what's going on with them there. So we'll see if she can do burpees one of these days. I feel
Right.
We'll be surprised by that. And then they want to talk about the future. We talk about your past. We talk about what's going on here. Now we're going to get back a bit to bar race weekend as we get close to the end of the podcast. But we want to talk about, do you do, because we are so addicted to this, do you do what I do, which is to go on YouTube and watch other
God.
people doing obstacle course racing?
Yes, definitely. I watch all the races, and that's why I started. Like before, I always used to race in a shirt, and now I'm like, no. I started like picking up little things that they do, and now I'm like, no, it's too much clothes. Like it's keeping me back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do. Yeah. We're
So
equally obsessed, Salt. We've
Nicole
established this.
Miracle is your girl then?
No, I like Lindsay.
Lindsay, look.
Webster, yeah.
Lindsay Webster. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so when you're watching it, do you think to yourself, one of these days?
Definitely. That is definitely in the plan to go up there and compete. I mean, I'm not there yet, but I'm still going to go, and early next year, that's my plan, to go up and try a Spartan or some other obstacle course race.
George always telling me that he feel that we could do it.
Yeah, for sure. I think from a obstacle proficiency level, we're there. All
Yeah.
people who do bar and who train bar consistently, our obstacles tend to skew a little bit more difficult than Spartan.
Yes.
Spartan, because they are like mass participation. Like a Spartan event might have 5,000 people in a weekend. One Spartan event, all the different waves coming through. So they have to kind of pitch it for that guy who's getting off the couch. You can't have, with that many people passing through, you can't have that many people sticking up.
Yeah.
So their obstacles, I think, are pitched just right for the numbers they have. But we tend to skew a little bit more difficult. So I think the only obstacle I can really see, like people who are really good at bar missing, might be the spear throw.
Yes.
Only because we haven't seen it. So if you're going to go to a Spartan, obviously mock up something at home in your backyard or whatever to get a few practice throws.
Yeah.
And probably when you pick it up, it's the first thing picking up the spear. You don't know the wind condition.
Listen, I felt that thing so far. So I thought they roped the game pop. I felt that thing so hard and so far sailing and going low. But yeah, you just getting used to the weight, getting used to the technique of it. And it's not as hard as you think. It's just again, it's being familiar. Being familiar with the obstacles, getting some sort of comfort with them. And we have a lot of obstacles that are similar to things they do. So, for example, they have something called a Z wall, which is like our Spider-Man wall, except that it goes around a corner.
Yeah. And that is easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is easier.
But they got chains and they got grips.
Lots of different grips. So I think, for example, I honestly think like right now, if Darren Matthews was to go and compete in age group category at a Spartan sprint, I think he'd be hard to beat in the age group category. Yeah. He might not win elite, but I think in age group he'd be hard to beat. So I think that's where people should start first.
Age group.
Go up, do the age group, and then the elite is very good. And those guys have a lot of years of experience behind them, but I think you could definitely pick off a few podiums at the age group.
I think too what we got to mention is that Barbados Adventure Race is actually a qualifier.
For sure.
For World OCRs.
Yeah, not for Spartan, but for World OCR and for World Obstacle and for OCR World Championships.
Okay.
Yeah, so you come here, you win your ticket, we send them the names, you go up there and you can race age group or you can race elite if you're
to
after.
myself that you probably could pick up a ticket that way and get on the international scene.
Yeah, that's the
Just
plan.
remember that's when you get
Hey.
they're dominated.
Yeah, I honestly think that, like, again, COVID cooperating, we do have to at some point in time select a national team, right? Remember, we were Caribbean Championships qualifier for the Commonwealth Championships in Jamaica next year. So we at some point in time have to select a national team, and it has to come out of bar because it's the only race that's available on the island for it. So you never know. Come out, people, get involved. We definitely will have to pick the podium, and we try and fill it out with some age groupers as well. Go up to Jamaica and show them how it's done, and come back with all.
I feel like we could show them. When I saw the Jamaicans doing the benchmark workout, Yeah, you can get them.
Yeah.
We're
We're still grateful for them for actually taking part.
definitely.
Yeah,
And
I would
I'm
love
sure-
to see them doing more of them, actually.
Yeah. Well, again, we had a bunch of people who were coming down for the race, and I think there's still a couple who were planning to. And maybe now that the quarantine requirements have changed, we should still be able to pick up a couple of them. Now, just make sure you're fully vaccinated, and then
And take a PCR test before you.
yeah, so you could, you don't have to come down here a week before and spend all that money in
Yeah,
hotels. You can
yeah.
get down here a day or two before, walk the course, and come and take some licks. All Jamaicans feel as bad men,
Oh, Jesus.
I'm saying this especially for Curry and Bailey. All Jamaicans
Wow.
feel, but they ain't got no academic bad men. So just like
Oh,
bad man professor. There's no such thing.
So are we going down to the weekend of bar this year? I think it's the 26th to the 28th.
Correct.
26th to
Yeah.
the 28th. He's added a 5K. This is the 5K. We're only talking competitive. We know there's the open and the
Right.
and the corporate, but there's the 5K, there's the 3K, and there's the team. Friday, Saturday,
Saturday, Sunday.
Bar added.
Yes.
Rich-
I will not
Rich, how
be
you
racing
doing?
Friday.
You're not racing the Friday.
No.
Right.
But I will be there. Saturday, 3K. And then Sunday team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why the 3K and not the 5K?
To me, the 3K is just a more concise race. It's going to be more exciting to watch. I think the 5K I don't know where 2K will take you on top of that, but it's probably going to be something that I don't want to do, like a carry or something extra that I just don't need to do. And I want to manage my energy over that weekend as much as I can.
You don't want it on your team.
Yeah, so I still have to consider my team, so I definitely just want to do the 3 and then do the team the next day.
Recommendations, George, for some person who is looking at the bar calendar and trying to work out if they should do the 3K or the 5K.
Generally, I'm going to say it depends what sort of athlete you think you are.
Right.
So, for example, let's say we look at a guy who did the 1,500 meters at school. Some people come to the 15 from a 4.8 background. Some people come to the 15 from a 5,000 10K background.
Yeah.
If you are more of a speed athlete, do the 3. If you are more of a 10K half marathon athlete, exactly, you would do the 5. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a little bit.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry, we got big news coming. You got big news coming, right?
Yeah.
All right, and then the team on the Sunday. Tell me about your team experience. I need to talk about that. Like, just the whole idea of coming together with strangers, people who were strangers.
So, first of all, the team event is the best event.
Yeah.
I love competing with other people. Yeah.
Individuals.
Yeah, I prefer it. It's a lot more fun, even though you're grinding it out for however long. You have that encouragement, and your team is always there for you.
And that pressure not to let know your team.
And
I don't want to call it pressure, but
I mean, it's a little bit of pressure, but it's okay because you know what you signed up for.
Yeah.
But my team members were never strangers. So I mean, I still have a level of comfort. I knew I had a level of comfort coming into it with them. And Tompy's like I'm gonna unofficially call him the team leader because he pretty much.
He's the one who's going to be liaising with everybody.
Yeah. He has started that already. Yeah. started.
He's the one who's going to organize the training
Definitely,
sessions.
yeah,
We know how to.
yeah.
Like, I think that's good too as well because that team will more be based on done with outdoor fitness. So you want to know where you're calling this team. Because he got half of outdoor fitness and half in tribe.
We are actually our team name. Oh gosh, I should know this.
It's Team BioSteel.
It's Team BioSteel. Yeah.
Ah.
Okay, there we
Shout
go.
out to
I know
BioSteel.
BioSteel wasn't the name, but I couldn't remember if it was. Yeah. So it's Team BioSteel, and I'm an ambassador like you.
Yeah.
So when they agreed to sponsor the team, that was a no-brainer.
Nice.
So they're our official sponsors, and so we're gonna do our best to make them proud.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Looking forward to seeing BioSteel on the podium.
Yeah, for sure. That's the plan.
Let me hear what you got to tell us about today, George. Let me not get to the big news yet. Any other things you have? Well, we ain't talk with the pop-up yet.
Yeah. Let's talk about the pop-up for a little while.
We had a
Yes.
pop-up on Saturday gone at Simpson Motors. Once again, big ups to Simpson Motors.
Absolutely.
Big ups to Isuzu. Obviously, all
Simpson Finance. Yep.
And it came off well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the team that we're continuing to build now is making my life so easy, right? In organizing these things. Yeah, volunteers and staff. It's a young man called Dominic Scanterbury, right? I was driving around with Dominic for the last kind of year or so, not realizing that Dominic's dad and I went into high school college together.
Really?
We were first formed together. We went all through school together. But Dominic is one of them people who, like, there's very few people who, like, outwork me.
Right.
Dominic has got me saying, "Oh, Dominic, give me half hour. Let me just." Dominic has got me, like, chipping. Like, my jump. Listen, Dominic, we were at Friday we started to set up the course.
Right.
And Dominic decided that he can jump into your workout, right? The Friday evening workout at PEG.
Yeah.
Dominic won the first 3 segments of the workout, right? When Dominic started sprinting, like, I was like, what is this man doing? When I look in the review mirror, the only boy I could see in the frame was Dominic. So so between Dominic and Nathan and Monica.
It's almost trying to get him into being an athlete. Where is he not competent?
Because he working for me. I want he competing. I want he working with me.
Yeah.
When, maybe once we get to that point where, he can start to hand off some responsibilities to other people.
I see him
Next
on
year,
the
next
bar
year.
bar_race Instagram, going through the obstacles and everything.
Man, I got every obstacle. Like, that's how I test obstacles. I set up the obstacle. I just try to make it hard. If Dominic could do it, we good. If Monica could do it, then you can't complain about him being too far
tall
apart or too short or whatever. So, yeah, Dominic is really good. Nathan is working in the office. He's organizing volunteers, etc. And everybody who just comes and gives an hour or 2 of their time, they're just making things so smooth that I think, like, 4 weeks out, I feel very confident that this is going to be the best bar ever. PEG is going to look completely different to how it's looked in the past. It's just going to look like a real high-end, sports event. Nice. And this is all thanks to the volunteers who are helping us out.
Yeah, so we're talking about the pop-up now. We had 3 waves again, the playground. I saw a lot of experienced barbarians in the playground.
Yeah, I think sometimes people don't necessarily want you to see where they are from a competitive perspective, but they know the only way to try these obstacles is to come out to the pop-up. So they come and they do a little thing on the playground and don't have to be in that competitive environment, but they still get the skills. And that's fine because I was talking to one of the athletes and I was like, they're nervous. Like, you're nervous about what? They ain't nothing to be nervous about. Like, you're thinking about winning? She's like, yeah, well, I'm in the pop-up. I'm like, tell me who won the pop-ups last year.
All right, then.
Only me and Dan could tell you.
Exactly. Like,
2 seconds.
nobody don't know who won the pop-ups last year, but they can tell you who was on the podium for all the events, right?
Yeah.
So it's still, while it's a good way to test where you are and so on, the only race that really matters is what happens in November. So, you use them as a benchmark or you use them to get the skills, but what really matters is November 27th and 28th, for sure.
Tell me how the pop-up went for you because you missed the first pop-up because of your tardiness with registration.
No, I mean, yeah. I did.
But you got into this one.
Yes.
I went on Saturday. How did it go for you?
It was good up until that slick wall. I did not get over it.
Not one time?
No. Well, I got over it when I wasn't supposed to, which was after.
Kind of late with the terror wall last year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only other female that's ever gone over the terror wall, and it did not happen in the race, and I'm very upset about it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's what happened. But other than that, it was fun. I had a really good time.
I had a good time. This is your first time, like, obviously we would have had race sims and everything a long time, but this is your first time in a real race event for the year then?
The pop-up? No, I did the trail mix.
Did the trail mix? Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did the trail mix, and then there was that. Yeah.
So it was carrying and everything without the shirts now. How you working out the carries without the shirts?
I don't even feel anything in my shoulders anymore.
Really?
Nah, it doesn't
I want this
hurt.
program. I want that
Everyone's like, oh my gosh, down your shoulder. I'm like, I have like scratches and stuff. I don't even feel it.
Build up some calluses.
Yeah, it's been like conditioning this whole time.
Right. Yeah. So the shoulders hold up good with the Atlas Stone. It was Atlas Stone. It was a log.
It was a log, yeah.
Log on standby to say. How did you find the wheel? Because George put in a new obstacle.
Yes. The only thing is that I wish it was how it's gonna be.
It will be, yeah.
Anchored and
yeah.
fixed. It was a little easier on Saturday.
Yeah, it was a little easier with that extra swing. But
And then also, check me now, like thinking back about it, wanting to myself. how much more difficult is it going to be when it's not swinging? Because
There is going to be I think.
A little bit different, but I saw some people already figuring it out, which is you grab it as high as you can so that it swings through.
You have to grab high, yeah. All right, no more secrets.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, that is the secret.
So how was it out there competing though? Like running, how hard did you go? 80%, 100%, red line, or take it easy?
No, I definitely wasn't. Redlining was not part of the plan. I was feeling sore from the weekend, the week of training. But I told myself that 80% was good. And to me, it felt like a Thursday, like a training session, like just running amongst everybody. I wasn't like nervous or anything like that.
I tend to get more nervous for pop-ups.
I noticed that for some reason.
Yes, you see it in your performance too, because in training, it's a totally different person.
Yeah, I don't know what's been going on there. But it worked out.
Yeah, we need a sports psychologist for you.
The mental.
I think with the pop-ups, that's the first time you're working in front of a crowd too, as well, right? Whereas in workouts, it's just working out with people. So I think it might be a bit the magnitude of the occasion.
Right. Yes, I think that has a lot to do with it.
That's a bit of a game. That's like asking you like, how it was for you running and the first time racing.
I think I would say that when I got to the slick wall and I could hear everybody like shouting how to get over it.
Right.
That I think was a bit confusing. Sometimes it's better to just like let the athlete try and figure it out, because you have like 6 different people telling you 6 different things and you're like, okay, no.
And of those 6, 4 of them have never done it before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You gotta do this and you gotta do that. So
I'm going to say here now for James to hear. This podcast is being recorded on November the 1st.
Right.
So we got BAR at the end of November. So this Papa has to come. This podcast has to come out expeditiously, James. So I want George to touch now on how we should be training going in for these last, I would say, 3 weeks.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've started to focus on a little bit more with respect to like programming for athletes is something called the speed reserve, right? And going back to that whole 1,500 meter athlete, somebody coming from a 400 background, somebody coming from a 3,000 5K background, recognizing that people are different from how they're made up. Some people prefer short, sharp stuff. Some people, if you do that to them, they're done for a week or 2 weeks. They prefer the long, slow stuff. So it's trying to identify who you are as an athlete. And you can start, you may not be able to do a proper test, but you might be able to figure it out from the things you like to do. You like sprinting and playing football and fast sports, or you like cycling for long periods or long runs. Decide what your preference is and then work towards that, because we don't have a lot of time. If we had a lot more time, it's like whatever your aerobic potential is, now we can try and maximize that. Whatever your speed potential is, now we can try to maximize that. But with the time left, we have to take what you're good at and make you better at that, because you probably don't have enough time to develop the other one. So if you're one of those short, sharp guys, then your sessions should look like interval training sessions, whether it's sprints, 60-meter sprints, or 400-meter sprints, or even 6-second sprints. And if you're one of the long, slow people, 9K run, 8K run, 30-minute recovery run, those types of things in there. And you have to get on the skills. Right now, I would say the skills, if you could only do 2 things right now, I think most people who are generally training are strong enough, most people, strong enough to lift anything that they're going to see in bar. You only got to pick it up once and put it on your shoulder. But if you don't have the skills, you could stick up on an obstacle and be there for half an hour, 45 minutes. It could cost you a podium. It could cost you a finish. So get some practice on the skills and work to whatever your preference is as far as your conditioning is concerned. If you're long and slow, do lots of long and slow. If you're short and fast, do lots of interval training between now and then. And that would be probably the best concise advice I could give you for now.
Okay. How about things like burning out, doing too much?
Yeah, and you see this all the time. Somebody ends up like 4 to 6 weeks out and thinks that I ain't got much time. I got to do X, Y, and Z. I got to do A, B, C, and try to do everything. Yeah. You still need to recover.
It's very tempting.
It is. Yeah. It is. I mean, psychologically, it's really hard to have a full rest day, sitting at home, doing nothing, when you feel like you're behind everybody else. Yes. But honestly, we keep saying this over and over again. The improvements don't come when you're working. The improvements come when you're resting and your body is adapting to the work. So if you don't give your body enough time for that, what you end up is after like 14 or 15 days of going hard, you start to see that you're not improving anymore. You're actually getting worse. Your joints starting to hurt. Your muscles aren't recovering in time. So you still need to program some, if it's not full recovery, it's some active recovery where it's a shorter, slower recovery run just to flush some of the lactate out your muscles so that you can come back the next day and go hard. Because if a session is supposed to be a maximal effort session, but your legs are sore or tired from the day before, it's not going to be a maximal effort. So we're trying to get you faster, but in truth and in fact, you're training slower than you should be for a speed interval session. So you got to allow for recovery as well. So try and factor in all those things. And if you're in doubt, just give us a call. We can give you some advice, maybe help you set up a program, and we can definitely get you some time on the skills for sure.
Well, and I see this almost every week about nutrition. Mm-hmm. I saw you send out a screenshot recently about pre-gaming, right? And not on people thinking that they could just take something just before the race and it's going to just boost your performance.
I mean, there are things you could take just before the race to boost your performance, but we will be drug testing this year.
We are.
Watch half people cancel now. We still have 15 places open in the team. But it takes a lot longer to fill up your liver with glycogen. It takes a lot longer to fill up your muscles with glycogen. So it's not going to happen in the same day of the competition, right? You eat generally well leading up to, right now for this next 4 weeks, I would say you should be eating as clean as possible, right? Eating foods that are dense nutritionally, the normal thing, reducing the processed foods, keeping your matching your calories to your workout. Because at the same time, there is obviously the same danger of overeating. There could be a danger of undereating as well. If you're going out there, you're running 10K on a Sunday and you got 2 workouts on a Monday, et cetera, you need to eat to fuel that. Yeah. But if you don't want to add weight to your body, then make sure that what you're eating is highly nutritious so that your body's getting all the nutrients it needs to power your workouts. And if you feel like, running is hard because I'm carrying an extra 8-10 pounds, then you got to get yourself in a calorie deficit. That's all I can tell you. There's no other way around it. Yeah. So reduce all I don't really want to call them brands, but fast food and soft drinks and
should be easy, but all right. So I was
it's easy in theory. Yeah.
I was thinking to myself because Shane Jones does this no sugar November thing.
Right.
I was saying to myself, I can't ever do that because
that ain't sorry for us. That ain't sorry for us.
Sugars.
For what we do, the high intensity workouts, carbohydrate is a primary fuel source. Yeah. Carbohydrate is a primary fuel source for high intensity workouts. And when you don't have it, you tend to get muscle breakdown because yes, you can be in ketosis, but fat takes a long time to break down to give you energy. You can get more energy from it, but it takes a long time. So when you're trying to surge, for example, you jump off an obstacle and you see somebody in front of you and you're trying to track them down, that's carbohydrate that's fueling that. Okay. So you can't be running, you try to do that with fat, you're going to be slow and laborious. So no, we ain't doing that no sugar thing, Shane. Sorry, brother.
So if I say have a training session this evening, I'm on the training session, but is the food that I ate yesterday that is going to be fueling me, or is it the food that I'm going to eat now at lunch?
Both, and maybe even the food from the day before, because the foods don't just provide calories, but they also provide nutrients, right? And your body is going to be in a generally good nutritional state if you're not lacking any of those micronutrients. Those micronutrients help muscles to contract, help your brain to send signals to the muscles, they help your joints recover, they help your muscles repair. So you could find yourself where you're eating relatively healthily, but maybe you're not getting enough calcium in your diet. So all of a sudden your joints start to hurt. So it's not just a 1-day thing or a 2-day thing. It's an ongoing thing where really and truly most athletes, most of the time, should be trying to eat as healthy as possible because sport is not always healthy. That's the thing, because it's at the extreme, right? Yeah. So if you're doing extreme things to your body, then you need to be thinking about fueling it in an extreme way as well. And when I say extreme, I mean, being fairly meticulous about what goes into your body when you're fueling for a competition.
Because and as you said, you're training your body then to accept these foods and know how to break it down. Does your body adapt? So that we say, some people may say they eat BAR.BAR.iAN. Does your body adapt then to be able to break down and the bone race more efficiently.
Yes, your body. It's funny how your body adapts to almost everything. So you can change your body's gut microbiome, as it's called, by eating different foods over time. After a while, from eating those foods, the bacteria in your belly starts to change, right? And after a while, you don't get as much benefit from them. So even supplementation, I recommend people like just give yourself like a little flush out every week or so after a month or 2 months of using supplements. Just so afterwards your body kind of adapts to it and tempers it down a little bit. So you should cycle everything. From your training to your supplements, even sometimes your fuel intake, you should cycle everything. The only probably thing that you probably should want more or less constant all the way through is your water intake. But everything else should be cycled for sure.
Okay. Have you actually like 2/3 of an hour in this podcast? I think they've been waiting long enough. What do you think, Dan? Are you want?
I want to know too. So.
Right. Okay. So, but people have been telling me they like the longer podcast. They listen to half on the way into work and the other half on the way in.
Shout out to you guys, man. Yeah. Especially now that you're on vacation, so you don't need to listen to slam. Let's get in.
Actually, I spoke to Bubbles this morning, and it's funny, because it was good talking to Bubbles because I think. When I talk to you, I might be assuming that you know things that's going on with BAR.
Right.
And like when you talk to Bubbles, you got to talk to somebody who has a sense of what BAR is, but isn't as intimately involved. So that was a good conversation. I thought he was quite good.
I think that would be good as well because you're talking to novices, which let me be real, it's a growing sport, it's a niche sport. So the majority of people listening are novices first and they ever heard of it.
He claims he's going to do it, so we'll see. He claims he's going to do the open wave.
It probably sounded good on the radio.
It sounded good on the radio.
I would love to see it.
I would love to see that.
I would love a slam corporate team to be honest.
There it is. I think there should be. A slam corporate team.
I think I'm going to head there when I leave here.
When Nikita comes back next year, I can see Nikita, Kelly, Bobby Bubbles, and DMZ. Don't include me.
No, not you. Not you.
Yeah, the kind of last. That's right. Right, so tell me, we got some big news.
Yes.
Yeah, some of it is big news. I think for the most part, it's going to be disappointing news. So, and it's more disappointing for me than anybody else. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to be as efficient with the resources we have in a COVID environment. I'm also looking at the experience that the athletes are going to have on the day. So I looked at the mini bar race, and I say, okay, we have the kids, they're going to come to peg. Do we stick a swab up the kids' nose?
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you stick a swab up all these kids' nose? We're talking 4 to 7 and 7 to 11. And then once the kids run their race, do we like shepherd them off into a corner somewhere and say, that's it, now you gotta go and stand up next? No, we want to have a kids' race. And then we want to have an area where they could just go and jump out and run out, bouncy castles and an area set up specially for them, right? Because the parents don't want to look after. The parents want to say, look, go and run out. So I think with that in mind, I don't think we can offer the experience we want in the mini bar this year.
Logistically.
No. Just in the whole COVID thing. So we've already spoken to the sponsor. And what we've done is we've shifted those resources from sponsoring the mini bar event to sponsoring the rapid testing. So Bayview Labs, no, not Bayview Hospital anymore. Bayview Labs now will be the sponsor for all the on-site pre-event rapid testing, right? So they will cover the cost of the rapid testing. So that means we don't have to add any costs to the athlete's registration. That's all included in that cost already. Yeah, exactly. And even now for spectators, because I had to try and decide what we were going to do from a spectator perspective. Now, COVID monitoring unit is happy with persons who are vaccinated coming without the rapid testing as long as they stay masked up throughout. But if you're not vaccinated for whatever reason, you're just not ready and you still want to come to the event, you pay the normal entry fee. And, there's a little bit more for you, like $5 more. But your test is now sponsored by Bayview Labs, right? So we can make sure, again, we need to make sure that everybody who is on PEG for those 2 days, that's the next news, on PEG for those 2 days, has had their rapid test. We know everyone is negative, so we can relax a little bit, so you can just do your race and you're not like looking around with that body ain't got on a mask.
You kind of see it a bit at the pop-ups as well, because when people start to realize, okay, everybody that's on the course is negative. It's still distancing, it's still a little bit apprehensive, but you can still see
it's so much more relaxed.
Relaxed feeling.
And I think for the last 18 months, people have been in a particular mindset, so it's hard to relax completely.
Yeah.
But you know, when you see somebody with a mask, you don't feel like slapping them in the face no more because you know that they just got a negative test and that they're safe. The other news is that we're going to try and keep the weekend into 2 days as opposed to 3. So when we originally, before, you know, we had this kind of outbreak on the island, when we originally launched the event, we had a view towards bringing many overseas competitors. For whatever reason, that's not going to happen this year. Obviously, our own COVID numbers, plus COVID numbers through some of the rest of the Caribbean and the world. So we've made the decision, when I say we, I mean I. We've made a decision that to have all those resources expended on the Friday, because it would be the Friday afternoon, for what might be 15 to 20 competitors in the 5K may not be. It's so hard to get volunteers to come out. Now you're asking them to come out 3 days. Yeah. Yes, you got to get the police on the course. You got to get security on the course. You got to rent lighting and et cetera, for what is now going to be a relatively small 5K field since we haven't got the overseas competitors. Yeah. So we're going to basically say, all right, guys, we're going to take your registration. You can move to the 3K, or we can refund you, or you can defer. But now we're going to try and condense the weekend into 2 days. So now the weekend looks like...
Don't say condensed, because that's really where it was all along.
Right, but you know, people had started to think, well, it was now going to be 3 days with the Friday afternoon and so on. So we're bringing it back to where it was before. But the only difference would be how we make it up. Saturday morning is going to be the open wave team, fun wave team. Saturday afternoon is going to be the singles, those who are running for fun, as well as those who are running competitively.
There's a fun singles?
Yeah, we've basically taken out the people who don't necessarily want to be up there competing and put them in one heat, basically.
That's what Dane and Dan are going to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's an open wave singles as well. So when you go to the website and you click Race for Fun or Race for Glory,
you see what you register for.
You ready with Dane and Dan. Right. And then Sunday morning we come back and we're going to have the corporate challenge. I'm so vexed that he ended up beating you. Yeah, Sunday morning we got the corporate challenge, and First Caribbean is the defending champion there, but Republic Bank are coming to take that
Republic Bank is coming.
Republic Bank and PwC for
money
sure.
on that.
Oh, Lord.
And then we have the marquee event, the ICBL Team Challenge on Sunday afternoon. Like I said, we're limiting the numbers to 15 in this so we can manage the time a little bit better. We already have pretty much 15. So we'll start at 2, and there'll be a 2, a 2:30, and a 3 o'clock wave, so we finish in daylight. We're going to do a presentation after each event, and I think that will help us get through the event, through the whole weekend without too many challenges with respect to COVID management, and also just managing our resources a little better. So I know it's disappointing for some people because they really were looking forward to that 5K.
And some people were looking forward to the challenge of running all 3.
Right. But the people who were looking forward to it, just come and do some speed work, come and do some sprint training. You still got some time. You still can get beat anyway, but
Wow.
I mean, okay, let's say Darren did 3 and 5 and you did 3 and 5, and people like that. I mean, the guys who are going to 5 to avoid the speed, they're still getting beat over 5 anyway. So you might as well come down and do a little more concise event.
Is, to me, your chances of doing well in the 3K, if you are a 5K person, are actually a little good,
Better.
Because well, if you're an obstacle proficient, you don't have to be doing. You got the endurance.
Correct. Yeah. And even on 3K, like, people think it's short, but you still see guys walking between obstacles sometimes.
Yeah. Because and a man that accustomed running 5K or was training for 5K, he can probably chip.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the news, people. I know it's a little bit of a disappointment, but I think we get through the weekend a lot better. We get through the weekend a lot more efficiently, and we don't really color. We definitely don't want to bring kids there and then have to put them in a corner. I like to see children running about getting trouble, and we can't really have that. Yeah, and being children, and we can't really. I don't think we can do that properly in this environment.
Hopefully next year, though.
But the sponsors are already committed for next year. Yeah. They agree as far as just changing things a little bit now. They'll put up the money to sponsor the on-site rapid testing, so the athletes know they're safe. If you're fully vaccinated and you don't want to submit to the test, that's fine. Just keep your mask on. If you're not ready to be vaccinated yet, or you have some sort of health concern which limits you from getting that vaccine right now, then you pay a little extra for your ticket, minimal amount, and you get the rapid test on the day.
Now that you mentioned the fact that we're going to be able to have spectators on the course for this weekend, but not this weekend, but for the weekend of events. You have a cost that you can let people know how they can purchase tickets, anything like that as yet, or that's not being revealed?
We haven't, but we normally do something really nominal. Like I think we used to do like a $35 weekend pass.
Yeah.
It's going to change a little bit because people have been asking for a 1 day pass. So we'll just do that. We'll just have a cost for 1 day.
I like the weekend passes.
Yeah.
But I think that made it very simple for you. You buy a ticket, you can come in anytime you want.
Yeah. And it was nominal. It was $35 for the time anyway. And obviously that covered things like, your toilets and your lights and all those sort of things, which made things a lot more comfortable because we can't have people going in bush at peg, right? So
Poison in the coals.
Correct.
What's bush for you is food for the coals.
Maybe it needs some watering and some fertilizer, make it a little better. Yeah. So that's it. So bar_race Instagram is where we do all our updates, regular updates. So information like this will come on the Instagram page as well. And to register, BarbadosAdventureRace.org.
Oh, sweet. And I may be too early, maybe premature here right now, but I know you're a man always thinking, and we 4 weeks out from this November. So you can start to talk about 2022 already.
Well, I would like to get back to 2 events a year.
Yeah,
right.
That's where it was going.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to
miss
get
June.
Me too.
Yeah, I would like to get back to 2 events a year.
I miss telling people they can't play at UFET because.
But again, a lot of these events can't run without sponsors. But it's a really expensive undertaking. So if the sponsors are committed to 2 events a year, then we're definitely going to do it. If not, then we'll have to stick with one and just do a series of run-off events that we did for this season, from your coast to coast to your 5K trail mix. Maybe we get back in the pot house challenge for charity and so on and so forth.
Missed it.
I miss it.
Yeah, listen, that's the worst. That's the worst thing I ever did to myself.
That was horrible.
10K, 5 pot house.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we can always create a calendar with a series of smaller events. But ideally, the situation is 2 bars per year for sure.
Because we were there at the pop-up Saturday, and we saw a guy that did the playground. Never done bar before in his life.
What's his name again?
Renato.
He needs a shout out.
Yeah, he did. Shout outs to Renato, man.
Boy.
And the man, we saw it. We were there waiting to get our results for our rapid tests. This man was like, okay, so you can take man went getting money from the car and pay and enter wave number 1.
Yeah.
And crushed.
Yeah, absolutely crushed it.
Right now, he's registered in a team to do the open wave.
Yeah.
Right, but I was telling the people he's registered, listen, y'all got to just do competitive because this guy is good and he's going to put you through for sure.
Especially for some person who I don't think I've ever seen him before. Have you ever seen him?
No, never.
That's what, when I saw him after, I was like, where did you come from?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Basketball, is it?
I'm not sure, but we did a little bit of an interview with him on the live. Right. So if you want to see who this is, just go to the live from Saturday on the bar_race page.
The teams that were messing up, seasoned barbarians, he was getting through them.
Yeah.
And that shows that if you're listening right now and you're thinking to yourself, I could do that, chances are you probably can.
Exactly.
There's a chance you can.
There's a chance for sure.
Not chances are. There's a chance.
Yeah.
Because it's not that it's easy, but he I just love to see you people in the sport.
Correct. And some people just, some people get it on day 1, some people get it on day 20, but eventually all of us get there for sure.
Yeah, I was one of those people that got it on day 20.
Really?
See,
What you got on day 20?
So I remember when Gina and I used to do, when the grips first got introduced, we just used to stand up and look at it for the entire 45 seconds in training. It was 45 seconds or a minute or something. Yeah. We just used to like touch the first one and be like, okay. We couldn't get it.
I remember with the grips, with the new rule change to the ball. I quite last year was the nunchuck that I could not get.
Yeah. That was definitely.
No, boy, even look at the nunchuck.
Yeah, the boy came
that was
trying not to hold the pen
exactly.
of the ball. Yeah. So what my advice to anybody right now? I don't know if you've tried them. You see them Gorilla Grip gloves?
Oh, yes.
They're working.
Yeah, for sure.
They're working for you.
Yeah.
Someone saw that I thought I could have swing off the flats. Fair enough. Yeah, no, but they actually work really well and they do a lot, especially for some person like me that struggles a bit with the grip strength. They add a little bit more. So you got a little bit more time to readjust because at a point in time on the anchors last Saturday, but my right hand, really left hand was supposed to go, but I was able I got on my gloves.
Right.
And I was able to swing a little bit and gather my thoughts. If I was doing that with my other gloves or barehanded, for sure, I would have definitely let go. Yeah. So the gorilla, I don't know if you still have any.
I still have any. Prices went to $450.
Right. Okay.
They're no longer $45
keep them gloves.
after that infomercial.
I can definitely. I'm probably gonna get another pair to want to training and want to racing.
Right.
Oh wow.
And they're light.
Yes. Yeah, they are light. The garden gloves are a bit heavy. The gorilla gloves are a lot lighter for sure. Yeah.
All right, so that's the last bit of information I have for y'all guys. Anything?
No, that's it. I think we should wrap up. We got them their full hour today.
Their full hour, yeah.
So hopefully they listen to the end and nobody registers for 5K.
Because
it's
probably
more
going to take
5K.
his bear jaw and not going to adjust his site.
right.
All right, guys. I want to be social for sure all the time for welcoming us every week and getting the podcast out on time. Right, James?
Got it.
Right.
Yeah, and if you're out there with a little business and you're trying to get some information out there in a long form, podcasting is the way. Come to be social for sure.
If you got a little business and you want some advertising, sponsor, obstacle.
Sponsor an obstacle.
Yes, I think we're gonna do that this year. Nate Spa is gonna do that. Yeah, for sure.
I have the obstacle in mind for you already.
Oh God, I don't even want to know.
Probably saying that somebody gonna burst in the face.
Something.
All right, that's it, man.